First off, it's news. Fort Lee loved my video. Awesome, Fort Lee. You don't understand how small our community is, most likely. But I finished the documentary, no discussion of nuclear at all. It was like it was an unthinkable solution. It's so obviously the solution to our problem when you think of the masses of energy that are needed to meet our consumption levels. So if you don't like biomass, and you shouldn't, cutting all those trees, if you don't like coal, which you shouldn't, the greenhouse gas, hello, where the fuck was the discussion of nuclear? What is this guy doing? Except at the end saying, oh, it's time to die. We have to stop doing everything. It's just really hard and we can't do it, and our species is in danger, but maybe if we stopped going to movies, driving cars, we can do this. No. And take huge losses where people just die all the time everywhere because it's totally unrealistic to say we're going to quit coal right now. But with the proper nuclear infrastructure, you could do it. And nuclear does not... I'm not a genius. So I want documentaries like this to explore that topic. Because I want to say nuclear does not have a huge byproduct of greenhouse gas. But obviously during the construction of the nuclear plants, you have to have cars and concrete and everything. So there's no question we're doing this off of coal's back. And we can't do that forever. And it's a dangerous thing because there's no nuclear rockets to get us into space to deal with our space needs. We have to use traditional fossil fuels to funnel our rockets and our planes. We simply don't have nuclear responses to our needs. But it's the only hope we've got. I mean, what else? And then global warming, it's going to continue unabated. But with nuclear, you can reduce the fossil fuels. It just seems to me so obvious that a coal plant is far inferior to a nuclear plant. And then if you're going to make a video about the flaws in like the neoliberal environmental movement and their hypocrisy and emptiness, then you should fucking mention the alternative that we should consider. I'm not informed enough to tell you that nuclear is the solution to our problems, but I can tell you that having the problems be the solution to us is just an awful perspective that clearly isn't legitimate. Like, I'm not saying we're going to grow infinitely. That's the other thing that they said. They're kind of like growth is the threat, and the population that demands all this energy is the problem. But does anyone see that stopping? There's nothing like in the future we're going to stop having babies. We might end up slowing down our population growth. But this idea that we can say coal is so bad, and therefore windmills and solar, which depend upon coal and do not do enough to make the world better, it just means we give up and let's all die. So what are you doing? I'm waiting to die. I don't want to, I don't want to watch TV. That's a fossil fuel deal. And I unilaterally will decide that nobody's to watch TV because it promotes fossil fuels or anything. We depend upon coal at a very deep level. Biomass is probably a worse solution because it continues with greenhouse gases and it burns all the trees. So again, I just feel like I want to be a gamma ray and I want to attack these people's faces and just fly in through their nose and give them deep, deep radiation sicknesses, right where their amygdala is, so that they panic in fear until they die. That's how I feel about a documentary about energy that doesn't mention the last century's biggest discoveries in what is potentially a future for humanity and the future of our energy needs. It's just so stupid that it's unacceptable. I hope you're having a good day, and I didn't mean to rant on this so much, but I was in the middle of the video during my last video, and I thought, well, it'll get around to nuclear, right? You're going to mention it at least. No mention. No concept of it at all. But if you look at the mass media and all of the people on Earth and what they think of nuclear compared to what it is, you can see plenty of stereotypes and delusions and false assumptions and foolishness that you could easily expose in a documentary. And then you could discuss types of nuclear power plants. Why can't I get that anywhere? Anywhere.